Yo, 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 what's happening, guys? Metaverse Melon here. How are we all today? So you've clicked on this video, so you're interested on about finding properties in Upland, how to buy properties to make the best returns, how to get the most profit out of the properties, and how to just grow on Upland in general. So I'm Metaverse Melon. If you like this content, please click that subscribe button, and let's get into the video. So this is Upland. This is a property virtual trading game. If you've played Monopoly and other stuff, you'll actually start to understand the gist of it. You've got collections in here as well, so you can actually see here. You'll be able to put properties into collections to try and earn a yield, let a boost on your yield, which is really cool. Every single property in Upland brings in a yield of 14.7%. So if you actually see all the properties here in blue, I actually own, and every single property brings in a yield. So all these properties are bringing in rent. Every single hour you'll get an extra rent increase. In case you collect your earnings, you'll have to wait 3 hours depending on the hour, but every 3 hours you'll get some money. If you don't collect your earnings, it'll keep going up every single hour as well. So it's really cool like that. Every little adds up, and then the more properties you buy, the more profit you can actually put into back into Upland and buy more properties, kind of like snowballing the effect, which is really cool. You can see on our account itself, we've actually got it up to 120,000, and then we're sitting at 8.16 million, which is really cool. So that's $8,160 right now in Upland. Really happy with the growth of this channel. We've been playing about, I think, about 14-15 months now on Upland, which is really cool. Just with the growth and actually seeing all the different stuff coming out in Upland, and just the ways you can actually play the game, make a return, just make a growth basically in the game. This is not financial advice, but I do play Upland to actually make a return. I love the game and that's why I invest in it, but it is the bottom line, it's real money I put in, and I do want to make a return on it. So a lot of players play differently. If you want to play for free, you can do as well. It's really good fun. You can actually just buy a few properties. FSA is a really good way to start. FSA's Fair Start Act, so every single city in Upland will have FSA properties. You can see some in Granada Hills as well, which is our node. And if we actually go in right now, you should be able to see some. There's one right there. So FSA properties, I won't be able to buy because I've got over 100,000 UPEX in my account. These are not on the market for me to buy right now. So what I have to do is ask other players or anyone what's got under 100,000 UPEX which wants to buy these properties can come in and actually get these properties where none of the big players can actually get. So all these good locations near the factory and that, they're all for new players coming into the game of Upland. So don't worry if you just come into the game right now, you're not gonna be stuck behind. They do create a really good kind of way for new players to start in Upland now. I remember when I started, there wasn't very much information. There was a few YouTube channels, but compared to now, it's night and day. And then you've also got missions here as well. So if you want to start to learn the missions, you can collect some more UPEX on that as well. So there's a lot of different ways to actually learn Upland right now. And if you want to sign up right now, we've got a 50% discount in the description down below. You will get 100,000 UPEX, 50% off up to 100,000 UPEX. You'll get 150,000 UPEX if you buy 100,000 UPEX from the store. But remember, if you do that, you won't be able to buy the FSA properties. It just depends what strategy you're actually going down. If you plan to stay below 100,000 UPEX and actually just play the game naturally, that's a really good way to actually make some money. But if you plan to actually sell property and grow, and you see some good markups for UPEX, 40-50% markup, then again you can get quite a lot of properties at kind of the same price range as if you was getting FSA properties, what was a little bit cheaper, because some of the FSA properties I've seen, they're only about 10%, 20% off the other properties, and sometimes they're not even cheaper. So there's different ways. It's not always FSA is the best way. It depends if you actually want to grow your account, or if you're happy just to stay there until those properties sell. I would highly suggest using FSA, but if you really want to grow, the bonus is there as well. So that's totally up to you guys. Both are there to actually start the game of Upland. But I started once. I never got anything. I never got the bonus, or I never got the FSA properties. I just jumped into the game and started buying in Detroit. And then once I left Detroit, I moved over to LA. I seen there was a lot of potential in LA with the high unminted properties. Unminted properties are these properties in white here. You can actually see. So these are properties that are on the game of Upland, but no one's actually bought those properties yet. So these properties are still there for players to actually mint the properties, and then they become either green, which means for sale. Blue are the ones you own as your own player, and then these ones are not for sale, but you can still click on them and send an offer if you wanted to. So if I wanted to buy this property, I could send an offer and then I could send an offer in UPX, or I could send an offer in dollars over to the player, and then I could actually like look at purchasing that property. And then you can also trade properties as well. So if you want to trade a property instead of buy a property, that option's there as well. You just need to send a transfer request. So that's really cool. What I actually done the other day, I'll show you quickly right now on messages. You can see if we go down, I just sold a property in Detroit, 10,000. It was a swap. So where is the swap? Here. So this is a property what I actually received. So I've put it back on the market for 82,000 right now, but I got this property for 52,624. And then what I've done is I've sold the property what I did own, and I had a structure on it as well. So it had an apartment built on top of the structure. And if we actually go down to it again, we can actually see the apartment and the building I used to own on Upland. So this is a property here. It's not this property actually. We'll go back to messages. The property should be, I think it's this one here. Yeah, this is the one here. So this is the apartment that I had before. And if you can actually see, we go on to, I can't go on to title right now. But this property I bought for about, I think it was 7,000 UPX. So like the actual land was 7,000 UPX. And if you don't know already, adding a structure to your property doesn't add value to your rent. So you won't see any extra income by building a structure. But what you will do is have the structure on the property. So that value is there for when you're trying to sell. So I bought, well, I didn't buy. The player wanted to trade my apartment on a land what cost 7,000 UPX for his land what didn't have a structure on it, but it was bringing in about 630 UPX every single month, and it was worth about, what did we have a look at, about 55,000 UPX. The difference between them two, the 48,000 profit, take away the 5% from Upland, so we made about 40,000 profit just off that sale by actually building a structure and then selling that property for a higher price. So if you actually look in here, you can see Spark. So this is where your Spark is. You use Spark to build structures in Upland. Every single structure needs Spark to develop, to construct that structure. Spark's used for manufacturing in factories as well, and also in the future you'll have to use Spark to actually move your car around in Upland if you want to take it to the garage to repair it or upgrade it. R&D, everything coming to Upland in the future will require Spark to move that along. It's kind of the process what moves things from A to B, gets a construction going, gets a car from A to B. Like the power in Upland is basically used by Spark, so that's really cool. So you can actually build your structures up and then like add different structures to different properties, and then like use those properties as value to actually swap other players as well, which is really cool. So if you have a lot of Spark, you can actually start to earn a lot of UPX that way, or vice versa. If you don't have much Spark and you have a lot of UPX, you can actually rent your UPX, you can actually buy Spark, rent Spark out for UPX, either go to like the Spark exchange, or there's other places as well, or you can message players on Upland in the message bit. If you just give them a message on the chats, I'm not going to go into mine because I've got a few messages there about future stuff coming to Upland, but you could just give them a message like, I'm looking at renting some Spark and other stuff. A lot of players will get back to you. They're really friendly, really nice like that. So it is just a really good community to be involved with, and like the growth of Swell. We've basically put in about $5,000 into Upland, and now we're sitting at 8.16. It's really cool to see the growth there, and then this is just going to continue. It makes about 2.5 million a year right now, and then next year hopefully we'll get out to about 4 million, 4.5 million, and then every single year after that we're just going to keep growing that. So you can see the property in blue we actually own in Upland right now, so we'll click into it. You can see it's worth 16,592 UPX. UP2 size is the actual size of the lot, so 136. And then this property brings in 200.7 every single month. And if we wanted to put it into the collection, we could get it up to 280. So you can see City Pro here. So if I had I think it's three collections. If you go into City Pro, if we just go to collections quickly right now and actually have a look and see how much the City Pro, I think it's 3 properties you need for City Pro, and then basically the three properties, you was going to put into 5 properties in the same city, so you'd get a 1.4 times boost. So what you'd have to do is get 5 properties in LA, and then what I'd do is try and get the most expensive, like the most UP2 price, because mind you get 14.7% yield off the mint price, which is here. So every single year you'll get 14.7% of that price. And then if you've got higher properties, so say I had one what's 30,000 UPEX, I'd rather put that into the boost because I'd get the 1.4 boost on the 30,000 UPEX instead of the 16.592. And then same with all the other 4 properties as well. So it does get hard once you get more properties like me. I go to UPX land and then eventually I'll have to pay for the collection optimizer, you can see here, and that'll just basically give me the best properties to put into the collection so I can like get the most out of the yields as possible. So it's really cool to see how this actually works. You can go over to properties as well, property search, we can just go to LA where we currently are right now, and then we'll go over to Granada Hills. This is where our node is, and then we'll actually have a look at Granada Hills quickly. And then we'll search for that. We'll go on to status. We'll go to for sale for UPEX. And then we'll go to FSA, non-FSA, because I'm not able to buy FSA, so there's no point having that data there for me. But if you've got FSA properties you want to buy, I'd click that on, or I'd just put like only FSA if you want to actually go down that way. And then you can see all the properties we've got in Upland right now, what are for sale in Granada Hills. And then you can actually check by the markup as well. It'll only show you, I think, up to 1,000 properties, or this is 200 properties right now. And then obviously if you get the premium version, which is $6 I believe a month, or you can buy $60 for the year, and then you'll get up to 1,000, so you'll be able to see more data to make better decisions on what you're buying in Upland. Because right now you can see 200, but there might be another 800 properties here what you can't see. So like in the future I'd look at going into the actual paid version. But I've grown my account without using the paid version. Like I'm still basically playing it off what I started with on the data and the knowledge. So I do use this quite a bit, but not as much as I need to. So you can actually see the last price of the property when it's sold, and then the new player. You can see the mint price, sorry, and then the sale price now. So you can see how much it's gone up in price. You can see the UP2 size, and then you can see what it's selling for. And then you can see the markup as well, so it's 13% above mint price. And then you can actually go down and then they get bigger as well, as long as you click on the toggle here. Or you can go for mint price as well. You can actually see how many is, this is all properties what have already been bought, so there's no point with that. But if I went up here and I clicked on minted and then searched again, and then when I went down here, I'd just go to mint price, and then it would show me the cheapest price I can actually buy a property for in Granada Hills. That's really cool how to use UPX land as well. You can use all these different boxes. You can search for addresses as well, what's really cool. So say I sold a property, say I went over to messages quickly here, and then you can see, let's say this one, I sold this property for 30,000 UPEX last night, so 750 Valencia Street. So all we'll do is click on 750 Valencia Street, and then we'll just make sure, we'll just go to all, and then we'll click search, and then this will come back. Oh, it's not in Granada Hills, sorry, so we'll take away the Granada Hills, and then we'll search this property right now, and then you can see the mint price, how much it cost to mint at the start. The last price was 30,000 UPEX, that's the price that I sold it for. You can see who's bought the property, and then this is cool over here, you can see detailed information about the property, so you can actually see what's going on with the property. You can see how big it is, your mint price, the owner, the neighborhood it's in. You can see how much it brings in every single month, and then the boosts, so you can actually get on it as well. And then you can see how the property has actually been going through the market. So you can see probably where it's been bought for UPEX, sold for dollars, bought for UPEX, sold for dollars, bought for UPEX kind of thing. Like that's what I'd say, because dollars you can get a lot more for your money than you can for UPEX. So if you're actually buying properties in Upland, I would look at going down the dollar strategy route. That's a really good way to actually make an investment on your property. So if we actually go back over here, 30,000 UPEX, and then you can see transactions as well. So we'll click on the transaction button, and then you can see all the transactions of that property. So you can actually check the data, you can see if it's a good property or not, how much it actually got minted for. So everything's open for the player to actually see all the data, all the information. You can see Boyden bought this property for 32,000 UPEX, and then I bought it off him for $17, and then I've just sold it to Kasikmar, for 30,000 UPEX as well, making me the 13,000 profit. Take away the 5% as well, so I lose about 1,500. So I made about 11,500 UPEX just off that one sale alone yesterday, which is really cool. So if you buy for dollars and get some really good strategies, you can actually make some really good money in Upland. But is not always a benefit. Will talk about one way that like you can actually not lose UpX, but like don't like the account. My net worth's going up, but my yield's not going up, and I'll talk to you about that in a second. So you can see market here. We've hovered over LA. You can see there's a 1 for 91 up UP2 here for $5. So if we actually clicked on this right now, I know this is a good property because 91 should be bringing in over like 130, 120 UpX every single month. So yeah, 134. You can see $5 right now. So I'd be able to sell that property for about 11,000 UpX, 12,000 UpX on the market. So if we wanted to buy this for $5, instead of buying $5 from the store, we could buy this property for $5 and then list it for 10 to 12,000 UpX. I'd put it up at 12,000, and then every single week I usually lower it about 500 UpX just until it hits a nice sweet spot, or I'll hold on to it, click the yield off it for a while, and then I'll just keep lowering the price of it until it sells. But I try and like grow as many properties and hold on to as many properties as well. If we go on to the property bit here, you can actually see all the properties we own in Upland, and we've actually lowered the price. So you can see these are bought for dollars, but all these properties here will be about markup price, which is really cool. We've just been lowering them down, so every single property there's a little bit of profit in it, but not too much, and it means the players actually get a good yield as well. And then everybody wins. Kind of, I'll make 20-30%, and then they'll still buy it under mint where they can make the extra. So that's what I like about Upland. You can use loads of different strategies to actually grow your account. You can see this property here, 124, 12 and a half. So this property, what I'd look at, I can see this property might sell, it might not sell, but I'm happy with this property not selling right now, so I'm going to hold it, bringing in 124 UpX a month. So I might leave that for 3 months, I might leave this property for 6 months, and once I leave it for that amount of time, I'll start lowering the property down, maybe 500, 1,000 UpX, just till it hits a sweet spot. And what I'm going to do is start recording the data of this on my other computer, or maybe on the MacBook as well, so I can actually see the prices. And then after 3 months, I can actually automatically just, it'll tell me what property addresses I need to change and need to basically lower down. So I'll set it so like over a certain amount of time, once I start collecting the rent, it's already made enough profit, and then I can flip it for a bit more profit if I want. But if it sells now, it's good, but I'm not going to lower it down too much because I don't want to sell off too much too cheap either. I've sold about another 50 properties. I've lowered a lot of properties down into a really good price range for players, but we need to try and keep like the account up, because what I meant is by, let me just show you on a property quickly, trying to pick your brain here. 5,000 UpX here, so this property was 5,000 UpX. I'm selling it for 10,000 UpX, but you can see once I lose the 5% from Upland, I'll get 9,500 UpX for this property. And then if I wanted to buy another property about 108 yield every single month, it would cost me about 11,000 UpX, but then I'd have to pay the 5% again to buy another property. So every time you sell a property, you really need to be making 10% profit or more just to break even. Because if you keep selling these properties off, so I might make the 4,500 profit, so my net worth will go up 4,500, but I'll never be able to afford anything at 108 a month for the same amount of money that I sold that property for. So if you get what I mean, so like it's, you can make more UpX in the game, but you're not going to get more yield off the properties. So it's kind of like a false, it's really good because I'm making yield off about 9,500 UpX, 9.5 million, sorry, on my account. I'll just show you what I mean by that. So if we actually go to UPX Land again, you can go to player search, and then we'll go to my Upland. It's James UK, it's not Metaverse Melon, I should have changed that. But you can actually see here, so it's value of property, so 7,956,000 UpX. So that's what I've put into the game, whether it's in UpX or dollars. So that's the amount I've actually invested into the game, but I'm getting a yield of 14.7% off this 9.5 million, which is really cool, 9.557. And how do I do that? This green line is what I'm earning yield off, and this yellow line is what I've invested in. The difference between here is how far below mint price I've actually bought the property for. So this property, like on average, all my properties I've bought, I think 10, maybe a little bit more, 15%. So every single property on an average I bought for 15% below markup price, but I'm still getting 100% of the yield on that, because you'll always get 14.7% of the mint price, not the price that the property was sold for. So I'm making, it looks good, like my account's growing, I'm making like 5,000 UpX, but all I'm doing is moving this yellow line back to the original yield price, if you get what I mean. So if I sell a property for 10,000 UpX, what cost me 5,000 UpX, That's going to go up this yellow line, but I'm still only able to afford another property for the same amount of UPEX, or if not less, because Upland take that 5%, and then once I buy a new property I have to pay 5% as well. So I'm trying to grow my UPEX right now, because once I hit 10 million I will get the extra 1.2 spark. So I'm going to try and grow this as much as I can, so I don't have to invest too much money up to Christmas, you know, so I've got a little bit left over. So hopefully with this strategy we can grow to like at least 8.6. By that point we'll put in another like 400, get it up to 9. And then we've just got the last push. My birthday's coming up as well, so we might push it over 10 million for my birthday in January. That'd be really cool. And then we'll be up at the 3.2, probably by the time, 3.3 maybe, depending on how much spark I get for the daily logins. If you don't know, if you log in every day to Upland, you will be able to get a spark reward at the end of the week, so I'd highly suggest you do that. And then you can just collect spark for free, because right now $460 for one spark, it's very expensive, but the power that spark can actually be used for, the utility it brings, is amazing. So like I would always highly suggest like looking into spark as well. I've got a lot of UPEX in the account now, but I've got a lot of properties that I can't build on because I've not got enough spark, and that's why we're running these competitions to actually give away UPEX for spark. So you can see over here we've actually built the factory, and then we've also built the showroom on Spark, and then this is our home address here. And then you can see here we're actually building another 5 structures in Granada Hills. All these properties, we're actually doing a competition right now, so if you put any Spark on these properties you will be entered into a competition, and then I will pick a winner. The wheel will, sorry, so it's fair, and then that player will get 10,000 UPEX. Just make sure you can receive UPEX. If you don't know, you need to be on the game, like you need to have the bank set up for 60 days, like you have to be like to receive money, and then I have to hold the UPEX for 60 days as well to actually be able to send money to other players in Upland. So if you want to be involved with that, you can jump onto any of these properties. The apartments are 16828 San Joe Street, and then all the townhouses are just around as well. And what we plan to do once these are finished is just keep building more structures, try and make Granada Hills like build out, like encourage more people to start investing, and then we're going to see the floor price go up in dollars and UPEX as well. So the players what got in early will see a bigger benefit, a bigger growth on their account, which is really cool. And then the factory will be coming online, the showroom will be able to sell stuff from, and then there's just loads of different ways. So this land here I bought for 169,000 UPEX, and then it's got a factory on top of it, so like now the value of that structure is probably over 400,000 UPEX. I'm never going to sell it, but just adding like buildings and structures on, and then I'll be able to like start designing graphics. They'll get sent to Upland and the team will have to approve them, so like I'll get someone what can do Blender. I'm learning it at the moment, but I'm not the best, so I'll get someone to actually like create some like really good assets we can start selling in the factory. They'll get manufactured with Spark. Once we get the 5 Spark, we'll be able to send the application away to get this factory online. This will start manufacturing goods, then those goods will get transferred over to the showroom where they can be sold to players in Upland, or they could go to MetaVenture shops and other stuff as well. So you can turn your apartments into MetaVentures. What that means is you can sell block explorers, you can sell cars, you can sell other stuff depending on what type of MetaVenture you open, and then each apartment will hold a certain amount of, so you can store, like you can sell 20 NFTs or 10 NFTs depending on the size of the actual store you've got. The MetaVenture, each MetaVenture pays rent as well, so it's like a real business. Upland's like really doing stuff in the business world. What I love about that, to see actually how many players are coming in to actually push other players in the game and grow it as much as possible. And yeah, that's basically just talking about the property side of it, like why I actually look at the prices. I want to grow the account. I don't want to actually start losing UPEX, because if you start buying properties overpriced, you'll never be able to sell them off again. So I hope this really helps you when you're buying properties in Upland and helps you with the growth on your account. If you've got any questions, feel free to message me on the Granada Hills Discord node, or you can get a hold of me at Metaverse Upland on Twitter if you want to. This is the account here. Go give it a follow if you've not already. I post everything Upland on there. Anytime I'm filming a video, any kind of ideas you want me to talk about in the videos, you can get it all there. So yeah, I've been Metaverse Miller, and thank you for all the support. Hope this has helped you looking at properties in Upland, and I'll see you tomorrow for another video, guys. Like, subscribe and comment. Peace.